Hey guys, thanks for checking out the podcast. Before we get started, I want to remind you about the very cool bucket list trip I am doing in 2026, the Smitty Learns Irish podcast, where I'm going to do my bucket list, hike Ireland for a year, learn about Irish history, town by town, through the mouths of the pub owners and regulars. Because what's a better way to learn about something you love than to experience it yourself? Patreon.com/we3Smiths, only $3 a month, and thanks for checking it out. Seeping is the key word here. Smart enough to figure it out. I just ask questions and talk shit. I'm not the news.
All I saw was a lake, mountains, and some trees.
That's the running theme on this fucking podcast. Whoever deserves mocking, and that includes a host.
Man, there is a record amount of meth in this place.
Smitty. Just sounds like stuttering Smitty.
Challenge 2022, y'all. Fuck milk crates, y'all.
Get the fuck out of here. What the hell? Everything. Live from the deuce. Only me. Holy shit, the Smith hole does not look like that anymore. We'll change that soon. Live from the deuce. If anybody is going to turn the new studio into a poop show, it's going to be me. Live from Cadillac, Michigan. The beautiful metropolis of Cadillac, Michigan. I've been here now 2 weeks. The Smith Hole 2.0. Man, let's take a look at it. Oh my God, this is not the end game studio for me, but it's not the fully final version. But I'm in my living room. When people come in here, they're going to be, wow, you really fucking do have a podcast studio in your goddamn living room. This is my living room. Half of it does not have any sound foam or as much memorabilia. But my little tiny ass 2-bedroom fucking apartment in Cadillac, Michigan. And you guys, I couldn't be more fucking just stoked is probably the best way to put it. To be here right now doing this with things looking the way they look after it didn't look like this. To say it was a bleaker feel just a few months ago, man, oh fucking man. Sometimes I'd like just look at what I've created. All this shit around here. And I don't know how it's going to go. You know, I don't know how the podcast from here is going to go. I think it's going to go fine. But I have neighbors, and I don't not that anybody would have a problem with that, but I don't know if like anybody can even hear me. I don't know what the sound is like down here with my TV and sound bar going when I'm watching a movie or something. It doesn't even really have to be that loud. And it sounds like fucking thunder down here. Not so much since I've put this sound foam up, but like what was it, night one or something? When you just have your shit on boxes and shit still, you're like, oh, I'm going to dig out these fucking Blu-rays, hook the TV up, and watch the motherfucking Lord of the Rings extended edition. That's how you break into place properly. You know, I'm like, fuck yeah, I poured a goddamn whiskey, couple whiskeys, and threw that on. And I'm just like, God, it's so, and I have to turn it down. Sometimes I feel like I have to turn it down to the point of like subtitles, because I really don't have a problem. I guess I do have a problem being loud, and I don't want to like bother anybody. But sometimes, you know, like again, I know I fucking talk really loud, so I don't know how this is gonna go. You know, I don't know how it's gonna go with my cat, because who is sleeping right now in the other room, in the bedroom. I had to yell at him really bad today because, you know, I have green screen hanging from the adjacent bedroom on the other side of this camera. And that's the green screen room. That's where I have my elliptical set up and do my exercising. My first fucking weed day workout run in a long time. I haven't done those in a while, and I felt like I needed that shit, man. Whew, just over an hour, but man, I felt fucking great. So I got that set up, green screen set up, the desk set up. That's where I'm going to do all my writing. And then this is like the, I love having like the chat area. I love having, if you're listening on Spotify or something, you can't really see it, but obviously it's all of the memorabilia that I've gotten, people have given to. Most of it is stuff people have given to me. Just intermingled with the sound foam throughout, and it looks pretty fucking good because, as I said in a Facebook post, for somebody who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, I think it looks pretty good. I took kind of measurements. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, that's about a foot. Like, I had a tape measure up, but I kind of did a level, but I didn't do any fucking pencil markings. I kind of know how, as I like to say, I can't math. You know what I mean? But I can figure things out if I stare at them long enough. I bet you it took me twice as long to mind fuck how I was going to do this studio just by fucking staring at it for a long time. I would be like, man, I just have to sit and look at this. It's not that I can't do the math if I know kind of how to do it. You do the measurement vertical and horizontal, and then you go diagonal and you find a center and you go out from there. It's like doing tile, but I can't fucking do tile either. Anyway, I'm like, I can't do any of the math on this. Really, I didn't. I said that's kind of a foot bit here, and then I just kind of staggered it, as you can see if you're watching. And sometimes you don't need to do the math. You just kind of wing it, But man, I just like looking at it. It makes me happy. But it is a pretty tiny ass apartment. It's so funny that I have a lot of storage space. I have a really big closet in the living room. I have another closet in the bedroom that I store most of my podcast stuff. Giving people the entire outlook of this apartment. Please don't rob me. I know where everything is. You fucking told me on a podcast. See? What was I talking about? So I have a lot of storage space, but no kitchen space. One sort of pantry area that I put most of the pantry items in a kitchen, but there's no kitchen storage space. It's fucking hilarious. Just trying to brainstorm where you're gonna put everything. I have 3 kitchen overhead cupboards. That's it. Glasses, I got them stacked. All of my pint glasses. I'm gonna have to get rid of some of these fucking things. I have a fuck ton of coffee cups. And then I have a fuck ton of drink glasses as well, like cocktail glasses, shot fucking glasses, all kinds of shit. And they're all stacked in there in 2, and then plates and bowls, and then mixing bowls and shit. All in 2 overhead cabinets. And then one cabinet is just things a bunch of fucking spices my mom gave me. I did actually take a picture of my refrigerator, and I was going to put that on the podcast, but I didn't put it into OBS, and I'm not going to show it to you on my phone. Anyway, the point of the story is that my mom got me 40 spices and herbs, and just layered the one cabinet. And then there's Metamucil and old man things, smoothie things, peanut butter powder, peanut butter jelly, powder. And there's nothing in there really. And then my refrigerator is so bare. There's 4 eggs and I drank the rest of the milk, but there's soy milk in there, or almond milk, excuse me, because I use that for smoothies. And I'm like, man, I don't even know, because the blender that I was using to make my smoothies was my brother's. I have a shitty one that I think will probably work. But I'm trying to illustrate the point that I have to go out on in phases and get all of my grocery things, because I'm still budgeting. I can't. It's not like I haven't jizzed all over fucking everybody's bank accounts, the people that I'm giving money to for my car that I just fucking bought. Shout out to Carrie Joe at Bill Marsh Gaylord. She actually sent me the TikTok video, and I was going to share it, of the whole, like, I bought a new fucking car here at Bill Marsh. But shout out to Carrie Joe for really just being super cool. And then I financed it through my bank, Straits Area Federal Credit Union, and everybody at that place is always awesome. That's why I love small town credit unions, because it's just a great personal experience, and it was awesome to work with those guys. And I got a brand new fucking 2017 Ford Escape. It's the newest, most rad thing I've ever owned, probably. It's a goddamn rocket ship. And then I got this place, security deposit, first months, all these things. I just feel like I'm like, here's all the money that I've saved up all summer at summer camp. But man, I'm telling you what. And before I go on, really, I want to shout out my sponsor, Kevin and M22 Inn at Sutton's Bay. I gotta turn this back on. We gotta see where it's at, you guys. It is in space right now. Let's zoom in. Oh my God, M22 Inn. Hey, right along the beautiful shores of West Grand Traverse Bay, zooming in to just south of Sutton's Bay, Michigan. And there's actually little benches right across the road where the beach is. But it's just a nice, great, quiet, comfortable little set of bungalows, brilliantly placed on that gorgeous M22 drive, which is quickly becoming one of the most well-known tourist destinations in the United States. So if you're looking to book a vacation, maybe, hey, come find me. Even though I don't live in Traverse City anymore, I moved to Cadillac. Who knows? I've actually had a couple fucking people, again, shout out to Kevin and M22 Inn. I've actually had a couple people message on like YouTube videos, and I don't know, here's the thing, I don't know if it's like the people that are commenting on YouTube are the are people I know already or were listeners on the radio, or if they are like just didn't know me from the radio, but they just recently discovered me on like reaction videos or something, because there's a few of those too. Be like, oh, I'm local, and I've never, it's not that they've never heard of me as when I was on the radio, but didn't know of me before, you know? And I think you just witnessed me fucking, just the thought lost me. The thought's gone. Is that what they call aphasia? Is that what that happens when you know it's going? As somebody like, as I can tell you, you know it's going. You can feel the thought slipping away into eternity, never to return. And you're like, no. Sometimes you could go, be like, okay, this point, remember this point, and then I don't remember any fucking thing what I was just talking about. The point of the story. I don't have a point of the story. I just remember that I was talking about M22 in Sutton's Bay, and just how awesome Kevin and the crew are at M22 at Sutton's Bay. But I was also talking about Cadillac, even though I don't live in Traverse City anymore. Oh yeah, now I remember. Sometimes you got to take the long Smitty detour back to where you were at. I don't know if people on YouTube knew me on the radio before. So is it, people are like, oh man, let's hang out. And I'm like, is that something you should do? You know, hang out with like people that know you, don't know you in real life, but like are either, saying fans is always the weirdest fucking thing for me. Anytime I ever hear anybody say, oh, my fans, I just go, I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like I had listeners. Maybe it's because I've always been of the opinion for the longest time. I was convinced that people liked me on the radio just because they thought I was just stupid funny. Like I wasn't good. You know, I just thought that they thought I was stupid funny, and it was like, oh, look at him trying to be on the radio kind of stuff. Like I kind of feel sorry for him. So for the longest time, that's how I thought of it. So yeah, I feel like it just got sad there. Not at all. But the thought slipped away again. Slipped away into eternity. Is it creepy that people ask to hang out? Should you be like, oh, let's do it in a public place? And it's nothing romantic. There's no like a romantic stalkers or anything going on. Even though I did have that once. Let's not talk about that though. But it's nothing like that. It's just people wanting to hang out. Oh, I want to hang out with Smitty. Which is cool. I don't want to feel like I was mocking that. Not in one single fucking bit. But is it like safe? You know, I did have, when was that? Over the summer, before the official summer of spite, which I will get to, is now concluded. But I did just have people send me pictures of random young people with clothes on, mind you. I can recap it if you want. I can send you the link. I did make a video of it. And it was like, I've never met these young people before. They were just like random teenagers, one with a picture of two people together, like younger men. And then one was a young woman, but it wasn't like they were totally normal, like pictures that people had printed off of the internet. It looks like, and clipped out and took, like, what the fuck is going on? You know? So that's why I'm a little leery of like going and hanging out with people. Is that weird? You know, should I? Is that something you should do? Because I don't know. You know? You just never know. Fucking, anyway. The Summer of Spite. Cheers and goodbye. And thanks for the assistance, but I don't need you anymore. The Summer of Spite. Spite can be a very useful weapon. You know? When used properly. What do you mean the Summer of Spite, Smitty? I didn't mention it because I didn't. People think of you as spiteful. It could be a negative thing, you know, and it wasn't anything I was trying to like promote and be like, hey guys, I hate everything and I'm doing everything because fuck you. It sounds kind of bitchy, but again, when used properly and in the right doses. When it was just, it was a full Summer of Spite, though, you know, but that was the correct dose that needed to happen. That's how you just get everything done. When you just get the fucking dick punches, man, like, you want to talk some fucking dick punches, you know, essentially you have to leave the job that you had, start a new job. One that was really hard, a learning curve to get around, but now it's good, you know? It seemed like a really hard learning curve. Like, I don't know if I can do this job, you guys. I might have made a bad decision. Kind of shit, you know? And you're like, I don't know how this is going to go. I got to move out of my fucking house in less than 2 months. I am essentially penniless because, you know, that's just the economics of where I was at, you know, essentially. Where you were at in life, but still making things happen, mind you. I was like, man, in my head, and what I was planning on is if I could get through this summer, then I would have a good enough cushion to do kind of what I needed to do, and I wouldn't need to really worry about jobs, switching jobs or anything. I could keep this job and still be good. But, you know, circumstances dictate otherwise, and you're like, what the fuck am I going to do? As I said earlier, it felt bleak, you know, not like everything was falling apart necessarily, but it's the uncertainty more than anything, I think, where you're just like, fuck, you know, there's that part of you as well, even though 100% I love my parents and 100% I am grateful to them for letting me stay there. You know, there's a part of you that's like, God, I am living with my fucking parents and I am 46 goddamn years old. What the fuck, Smith? What the fuck? There's just a part of you, and I don't know any. There's definitely a failure factor. You're like, oh, I tried all this and it fucking failed. Even though the house was completely out of my fucking realm of control, you know. I'm just like, how the fuck am I going to get out of this shit? What the fuck? I had to like move away from towns. There's no real estate available. There's no rentals. You have no money. Then you get this job at Turtle Creek. The pays pretty fucking well, man. Like, say what you want about the casino, and I don't know why, they treat their employees fantastic. You know what I mean? From salary to how they make sure that their employees are taken care of, benefits. You know what I mean? Constant community. It seems to be constant communication. Hey, how's things going? Can we do something better for you? And it's that kind of, like, they take care of people, and I'm really happy to be back there because, again, I worked there 20 years ago. And I'm like, okay, I make pretty good money here and I can save money. I was able to save up a security deposit pretty quick, being able to stay at my parents without essentially paying bills. So, but you didn't know what was going to happen at the time. Then you're like, okay, I need to get this car too, because my Fusion was kind of on its last leg, I kind of ran that fucker into the ground. Put a lot of miles, 250,000 miles on that 07 Fusion. And again, the dick punches. As I say before, any sort of like obstacles when you're trying to do a goal that are preventing you from being where you need to be. Got a problem. I just call those dick punches. How are you going to roll with the dick punches? And you just got to keep your fucking head down, man. You got to try to follow the plan. You got to know that, you got to expect those dick punches, even though you don't know what they're going to be, and you got to be ready to just fucking, as Pivot, listener and super fan Heidi Joe, silver-haired fox, will always comment and, we'll talk about, hey, you got to pivot, you got to make the change when you need to make the change. You got to fucking adapt, man. And that was essential. The ability to like, you got to get out of this fucking house. Where are you going to do this show that you set up, and you set up this fucking business for yourself? How are you going to do this? I'm going to just set up a tent fort and my parents. And again, as much as I love my parents, they have their thing and I have my thing. And as much as I love spending time with them, I love having my own space even more. And while you're there at the parents, you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen? You're not finding anything. Then boom, pops up in Cadillac. Well, I don't know about Cadillac. Oh, this is halfway reasonable. I go and look at it. Yeah. And I said yesterday in the Sunday morning talk practice, I was like, as soon as I walked in, I was just like, that fucking right there. That's where that podcast studio is going to go. And I was just like, okay, well, I want this fucking place because it was affordable enough for me that I can justify the new commute with the new car and still save money, kind of, pull this fucking trigger, not to mention the fact that I'm right downtown, man. I'm 2 blocks from Clam Lake Beer Company. Got Raven Social right there too. I don't think they're a brewery. Maybe they have their own beer. I'm not sure. But just some cool businesses, man. I've already stopped. I talked about the G&D's Pizza that I accidentally called the wrong pizza place the other day and ordered pizza. Anyway, I'm already starting to just find my places, man. I've been to a couple bars and met a couple people, and it's so weird. Like, because I like to go out and fucking bullshit, man, occasionally with people. So, making new friends, essentially, meeting new people. It's fucking exciting. Because that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. As much as, like, it's so weird because I do have streaks of being obsessively antisocial. Where I'm just like, I just want to stay in. I don't want to talk to anybody. But I still love going out and shooting the shit and talking, not necessarily even talking to people, just getting out and experiencing things, which is one reason, again, I'm so excited for like Ireland and the pub trip where, Yeah, I'm going to be way social a lot and talk to a lot of fucking people there. But I'm also going to have streaks of walking the Irish countryside with my own solitude, peace, and quiet to keep me company. You know what I mean? I crave these little... I love my little hole down here. You know? Man. But back to the summer of spite. I seriously believe that sometimes you got to have the spite. You know, when you feel like you're at your wit's end. You're like, all right, well, I'm just gonna fill my summer full of fuck you to all the people, perceived or real or just perceived is probably the best way to put it. Because I'm sure it's all in my head. I'm sure there's not anybody really practically at all that's like, fuck Smitty. I'm sure there's a couple that are like, oh, said fuck you to radio and he wants to do this show on his own. I'm sure there's a few. But most of it is perceived, but I don't give a fuck. Anybody that I feel like is like, watch him fail. I just want to be like, fuck you, watch this, you know? And I'm like, I'm going to fill this whole summer. I'm going to lose weight. FYI, I've lost about 15 lbs this summer. I am going to just keep going, save money, get the things you need to get things set up. And fucking A, I did, man. My goal was October, the end of October. Halloween. I wanted to be out of my place by Halloween. Or into a place by Halloween. And it happened a little quicker than I was looking for, man. And, you know, again, you just got to roll with the punches, man. Pull the fucking triggers. Thus ends the summer of spite. I was going to call this, what was I going to call this? We're concluding, is it, what kind of fall? Or an autumn? What would rhyme with autumn? Dumb autumn. Oh boy. You know what? I didn't mention Taylor Hawkins, the tribute show to Taylor Hawkins at all on like social media or anything. But man, I watched probably 2 minutes of the My Hero, the live version of My Hero with Taylor Hawkins' son on drums. His name is escaping me right now. But I was like, I got to turn this off. A, I want to watch the whole thing. And then B, I don't want to cry in this moment. I got to pick my moments, make sure nobody's around. You know, can't be going out in public anywhere if I'm all fucking and just ugly cried at fucking Dave Grohl being emotional. Oh my God. So I haven't, but I did watch a little bit of it and I'm just like, I started to cry and I had to turn it off. I was going to watch the full thing, but just not live. And I guess you can't do that. It's not on the YouTubes anymore, but I'm going to find it somewhere to watch it. But man, they brought everybody out for that thing. I think it was at Wembley Arena, you know? And it just goes to show you, man, it's not necessarily, is that how popular? That's not the right word. Just respected, like so fucking well respected. Dave Grohl, the Foo Fighters, Taylor Hawkins was and are. Just goes to show, man. I mean, everybody was out and everybody took part in that thing. And fuck, there's always fucks. And I got to stop. This is one of those instances where I have to stop myself from typing fuck you comments. You're fucking idiot comments. Just being a complete asshole to somebody. Because it's something that I refuse to take part in anymore is shitty internet talk. You know, but there's always somebody that will say something along the lines of, "Is anybody even mentioning the fact that he died? That he fucking overdosed and this was about drugs? And you don't need to, you fucking idiots. God, we all know he fucking. Does it matter? Does it matter how somebody dies? Because I feel like in certain scenarios it probably matters." If somebody gets hit by a fucking truck, or if they kill themselves, or if they OD, or if they had a heart attack from the hole in their heart that they had from a baby, and nobody ever knew about it. You never want it, but it happens. Does it matter after they're gone and you fucking you're at the memorial or whatever? Does it matter why? Unless you die. I mean, if you fucking die shooting up a fucking elementary school, I mean, some things shouldn't be forgiven, right? Which is not funny, and I can't believe I just laughed at that. That's something my grandpa would do. You just laugh at the most inappropriate things. But that is what I do too, so I am my grandfather's grandson. Anyway, you know... One thing I've also been getting into, there's a few new things that I've been getting into. First of all, really listening to podcasts, especially with this long commute. I was like, I'm going to listen to more podcasts, finding more podcasts. And I've been listening to the Irish podcast. And it's really interesting and for obvious reasons why I'm getting into it. But it tells the story of like one Irish person in history at a time. It's pretty fucking cool, man. And then... I'm getting into audiobooks. So on the commute home from the casino and you want to wind down, just fucking get your brain going, keep your brain occupied so you're not fucking falling asleep on a 45-minute commute. What was that? What's the name of the book I'm reading? And I don't know if it's like a graphic series or novel. I thought it was a book, but it was on Audible. And then, there's another fucking way that I can do audiobooks too. And I guess if you have a library card, there's an app for that where there's just free audiobooks. So I'm going to do that too, even though I think I do have a library card in Sheboygan. Anyway, the fucking point of this story is I am listening to a book called Impact Winter. It's pretty good. It's okay. It's set in Britain where a comet hit and created fucking nuclear winter, or comet. Impact winter is actually the term. Hence the name of the book. But it fucking becomes dark and just all the time. So it just gets taken over by vampires who now, obviously there were vampires in this world before, but they couldn't walk around all the time and they couldn't make themselves as known because of daytime. But there's no daytime anymore, so there's a fuck ton of vampires. And it's okay. But, so those are two things I'm getting into. And then, what was the original one? Classical music. Brother Levi listened to classical music all the time, and I was just like, I just was like, I'm gonna find. I would hear classical music, and I always enjoyed it, but I'm like, it's never anything you want to like go down a rabbit hole. You never, like, I'm gonna listen to more of fucking Gershwin, and I chose that name specifically. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get a classical playlist. I'm gonna find a classical playlist that's worth a fuck on Spotify. Just hit shuffle, and man, you just really start finding shit you love and pieces of music. The more you listen to songs, it's like some really good heavy metal, The more you listen to songs, the more you really see like how intricate it is and like what cool songwriting they're doing, impactful moments here or fucking clever moments there. And I'm like, man, I'm really falling in fucking love with classical music. I got a lot of big playlists and it's just going and going. I bet for the whole summer since spring, I've really been going down classical music rabbit holes. I'm trying to. Not rabbit holes necessarily, just finding the songs I like, And there's always the songs that everybody knows, like from Beethoven, or if you've watched fucking Fantasia or things. There are always, of course, like movie soundtrack shit. But other than that, I don't really fucking know classical music, but I'm not learning. I still don't know who composes what or any of the... I don't know any really terms or, title pieces by heart. I don't know their names. Not really. There's a few. But specifically, I was listening to Rhapsody in Blue. And that's, I would always hear about that. And I think the first time was that I listened to that all the way through was that new Fantasia. That's Fantasia 2000. It's just new, but it's, it's not terribly new, but it's newer. And they did a segment, a cartoon on that Fantasia 2000 of Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue. And I'm like, God damn, this fucking... this Gershwin character is pretty good. That's how I'm like, oh, I kind of get it now. But I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to go down a Gershwin playlist. I'm like, what if I could do classical music reactions? And I'm pretty fucking sure I said out loud in the moment, because I have been talking to myself quite a bit lately. I was like, you fucking idiot. You don't need to record every experience you have. Pretty soon you're going to have like poop reactions, Oh, I won't never do that to you. Ever, ever, ever. I wouldn't do that to you or myself, Man, I got to tell you, it's not for the first time, but I'm realizing now that I love my cat like a family member when I never really thought that I could. I've never really loved pets like family members. I've always loved my pets that I've had, but maybe I haven't. Maybe that's terrible way to put it, because I've had several moments in the last few months where I thought my cat like disappeared, and I don't want to say I'm frantic, but worried is definitely a good word, and I was just like genuinely worried about like his state of mind lately, going for summer camp at the folks, they had their dog Paisley, and, my dad is kind of loud and fucking like me. Where do you think I'm bred from? And my mom, she's like, get away from me, cat. No, not like that necessarily, but, and he's dealing with these new surroundings, and the dog as well. So you put me in a goddamn crate and brought me into this house of craziness with this dog and these two old people. What are you doing? And I was just like, now you got to do it again. There for 2 months. And the same time, I did talk about it on a podcast. I think that podcast while I was driving, when I was moving, getting the cat in there. I coaxed him in. I conditioned him. I just put the pet crate in the living room with the door open, and I would just keep putting treats in there. And, he would be like, oh, it must be fine now. Nope, you fucking son of a bitch. You locked me in again. And then for 45 minutes on the way, in the car, meow, meow. And he's just like fucking tortured. And he's like, you put me in this house, and I don't know where, because I thought I was like aware of like where all the crevices in this place were. I made sure all the cabinets that didn't shut correctly, I make sure they're latched and things blocking it so he can't get in places. So moving things in, I knew he was hiding, but he would just disappear for like 2 days. I don't fucking see him. I keep looking at the light, and I don't look at the camera. Camera's right there, Smith. But man, that fucking cat just disappears. He's like the hide and seek champion of 2022, man. But now he's just like finally relaxed enough where he doesn't freak out every time I come down the door, open the door, and run and hide for 2 hours. I was genuinely worried about his psychology. See, like, man, I don't want to give this goddamn guy a complex, little buddy. I got to find him. I got to love him up. And I really realized that I'm like, man, this cat, I feel like this cat is my baby. I get it now. Not only does he think I'm his mother, he's my baby. What am I I lost it. Oh, I did want to mention, although I do believe I'm going to wrap things up here pretty quick. I don't even know how long we're going on this thing. I wanted to mention the Game of Dragons. Game of Dragons, man. No, not Game of Dragons. That Game of Thrones spinoff, House of Dragons. That show is fucking awesome. If people don't... It's not that if people don't like it. I don't care if you don't like it. But it's like, I don't understand people that bitch about, and there will be people that argue with me, and that's fine. I don't understand people that bitched about the last season of Game of Thrones, that like the show. Because from my point of view, and like, I watched it with my brother, and he was of the similar opinion than I was. Like, yeah, some shit that you might have wanted to happen, or maybe you thought made sense, didn't happen in that last season. Or maybe you thought it was rushed or something, and maybe it was, but it's not like the plot points that they wanted to happen they couldn't hit for time's sake. You know what I mean? If anything, it was just a little more condensed than they could have fucking spent time on to make it, if they were to make it 2 or 3 episodes more or something. The plot points weren't compromised is the point of the story. Everything that happened was classic Game of Thrones. Oh, we didn't see that one coming. You know what I mean? There wasn't bad writing. There wasn't bad directing. It was fucking awesome. I don't understand when people are like, oh, the fucking last season of Game of Thrones sucked. Ugh. You know? And now I have not seen as much bitching at all yet about the new House of Dragon, which I'm 3 episodes deep. I need to catch up on number 4. There will be no spoilers, but man, it is fucking really good about the Targaryen house, and there's a plethora of dragons and radness and cool writing and just classic Game of Thrones shit, man. I really enjoy it, and I love having at least one like show that I just dedicate myself. And I will also say Rings of Power on Prime. Get to that in a second too, but House of Dragon is fucking awesome. Rings of Power, I might as well just mention, I'm 2 episodes in. I don't know if there's a third one released yet. If I don't understand people's bitch about that. I know that there's people that are irritated that there's a black elf, and Jesus fucking Christ, are you serious? Does it fucking matter? No. It doesn't matter one single bit. It doesn't matter one single bit. You want to know why? Because they were never really fucking elves. You know what I mean? People are trying to make the, it's based on like region and like historical skin color, but it's not real history. You know? If we're ever going to get to the fucking point where people will just shut the fuck up about this stuff, if we're ever going to get to the point, then you got to have people of all colors and appearances and things playing whatever roles pretty much in any sort of like filmmaking or TV shows or any sort of art being depicted. You just have to show a wide range of people. I know there's people pissed off that there's all sorts of like homosexual love scenes and like shows. Like I'm watching The Sandmans, and there's a lot of dude fucking in that show. But I know there's people upset about this because I hear about certain things from certain people sometimes, and I'm like, what are you fucking pissed off about? What are you irritated about? Are you really irritated that those 2 dudes are fucking going at it? Why? It's not turning you on, is it? No? Then what's the fucking problem? I don't like to see it. It shouldn't be on TV. It's just 2 people kissing. You know what I mean? It's just 2 people. It's no different than a man and a woman together. It's no different from 2 chicks together. And 2 out of 3 of those things are, but there's people bitching about the black elves and something or other. I'm telling you what, man, I watched that fucking show. Maybe it is perhaps straying, at least in some things, from source material, Silmarillion, other Tolkien stuff. But it is fucking awesome. It's really goddamn good, man. It is, and I got to tell you, I am madly in love with Galadriel, who is the most badass Jedi of all time. 100%. You know? Anyway, definitely watch that. I did want to mention too, before I get out of here, before I go, I am so stoked that I'm going to be doing this podcast here and in Cadillac, and as I said before, and getting all this content out, but I'm taking on yet another one. This one's going to be a lot easier to produce because it's going to be with two people that I'm very comfortable with, and that is my old co-hosts, plural, Tim Logan and Ryan motherfucking McTighe, getting the band back together, except this time making it a super group. And it's going to be called, because obviously the Detroit Lions are going to win a fucking 99 million Super Bowls. That's the title, man. 99 million SBs with myself, Ryan, and Tim. And it's just simply going to be 15 minutes of Lions recap after a game, just kind of just shooting the shit, talking Lions football, man, because clearly Hard Knocks showed us they are destined to become an elite football team. So that's going to happen once a week. And the first one's tonight. So, you guys, all the things, please like and subscribe. Please do all the things. Oh, let's check and see if there's any commenters on the live stream, because, I, said I would. But anyway, there is no commenters, but that's okay. There will be, If you build it, they will come. And that's going to be it for me. You guys have a good fucking day. Appreciate you.
So long, sucker.
Good night, everybody!
I am so sorry for everything that has happened.
Neat. Bye-bye.
Yeah, all right. I'll see you guys there.
By the bar and get your face, huh? Get me paid, bitch!
Sit, boo-boo, sit. Good dog.
I love y'all very much. Peace out!
Good night, ladies.
What the hell? Everything